Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the tennis world with the tennis expert. I am your tennis expert. It's time for your clay court season preview 2023. So what can we say about the clay courts, guys? They're the slowest surface, they're the highest bouncing surface. First of all, I'll let you know clay is not actually clay. It's bits of crushed up red brick broken down into small little pieces, or more like a dust of broken down small pieces of red brick on top of limestone and other rocks. That's what a clay court is. So clay is not actually clay to begin with. And what the surface does is the ball is traveling at speed through the air. It's going to hit the slow clay court, right? It's going to slow down, right? But so because the roughness of the pieces of crushed brick is going to slow the speed of the ball down, create friction, all the speed and energy that's in the ball has to go somewhere and it can't go forward as much because it's been slowed down. So it goes up. So it slows down because of the rough surface, but all the speed and energy of the ball and the bounce of the ball, instead of going forward as much, it's going up. So that's what causes it to be a slow yet high bouncing surface, right? So what I want to say is over the history on clay, we had a while ago where Nadal was typically the best and Djokovic because they're good at long rallies. You can't have an attacking game, your serve and power game wanting to shorten points over power guys. The surface is going to slow down your serve, giving the returner more time to get the ball back. If you like to be in a long rally and run fast and run down balls, the surface is going to slow down the ball, so you get more time to run down those balls, prolong the rally. The attacking player will have to go for more power near the line to get the ball past their opponent, which means there's a more chance of a minute, guys. Which means there's a more chance of an error. So the attacking game is a problem. Relying your serve is a problem. But if you like the long rallies and you're consistent and you don't make any errors and you're fast, you're going to get back the opponent's serve. You're going to get back their powerful shots. You're going to force them into a long rally. And if you're fast and running down balls, the ball's going to travel slower through the surface and you're going to have more time to run down those balls, making it near impossible to get past someone who's very fast. If they're fast, they can get back balls on a fast surface, but with it slowed down, they have even more time to get to those balls. Thus, it's even harder to get past them, right? The last thing is you want to be good at long rallies. You want to not make mistakes. You want to be fast. You don't want to rely on a power game winning the points quick or big serves. But the last thing is, even if you're in these long rallies, you need power to finish the point and to get the ball past the defender. Because the court is slower, if you don't have a huge amount of power, your ball's just not going to go through the court fast enough, and you'll never generate enough pace to get the ball past your opponent to win the point. That's when Nadal excels over Djokovic and Medvedev, for example, because they're all good at long rallies. But Nadal has this huge forehand, so if he has time to set up with this huge big motion on the forehand, he can generate enough power to hit the ball through any court or any defender. Carlos Alcaraz, same thing with his forehand. And I think what we're going to go back to is we're going to go back to the years of where Nadal was number one. Theme because he had a huge forehand too and a good rally and was the second best, slightly ahead of Djokovic, and they were the big three contenders. I see that happening now, but I see Alcaraz replacing Thiem to be slightly ahead of Djokovic, Nadal being the favourite. All three guys, Alcaraz, Djokovic, Nadal, have speed to run down balls, and it's very hard to get past them to finish the point. But the difference is Alcaraz and Nadal have that big forehand themselves. So they can generate enough. They've got a big motion on the forehand. They need time to set up and not be rushed. The clay court gives them that time. And then once they hit the big forehand, they have the power to get through a slow court and finish the points and get the winners. Whereas Djokovic, yes, he's good on the long rallies. He'll not make mistakes. He'll get the serves back. He'll force you into long rallies, and it'll be very hard for you to get past him because he's going to be fast to finish the point, and you'll probably make an error. But then when Alcaraz and Nadal matches him on that, but they have the big forehand to be able to get through the court and finish the point, and he doesn't have that huge, big, powerful shot to get it through a slow court and finish the point. That's the advantage to Alcaraz and Nadal. But I think Nadal is slightly ahead because Nadal has this forehand, and when he has the time to set up on the clay courts, right? Because as hard as you hit the ball, the court is slow and you need some patience, and the opponent may get the ball back. So you need the ability to say, I might have to hit 5 forehands, 7 forehands, 10 forehands, but with power, and I'm eventually going to get the ball past my opponent. So you need the power to get the ball through the court, but the patience to say, even with that power, because the court is slow, your opponent might still get it back. So you need to keep hitting forehand after forehand with power until you get it past the opponent. Nadal's forehand has the power to get through any court, but the consistency can hit 5, 7, 10 shots until eventually his forehand, with the patience, gets through the opponent. So with that power consistency, that's why Nadal excels on clay. Also, he's consistent. He stands so far back behind the baseline to get the returns into play, force them into rallies. And then, like Djokovic, in consistency, no errors, forcing you into long rallies. But then the time to set up on a slow court with the ball traveling slow, hit big forehands to get the ball through this slow clay court, to get the ball past your opponent to finish the point. The next thing is that we talked about the slowness, the high bouncing aspect. Nadal has topspin, so the more topspin you have on the ball, it's going to jump and bounce up high. Clay courts jump and bounce up high. So when you have a court with high bouncing, that the ball jumps up high to an awkward place, no matter whether there's spin or not, and then you add topspin, where topspin the ball's going to jump up high on any surface. But when you add both of those together, a high bouncing surface and a player that makes the ball bounce and jump and kick up with a lot of spin, then you're going to have a very awkward ball jumping high up at your head and neck. That's what Nadal has. So he has the topspin, the balls that bounce the highest on any surface, and then he has the highest bouncing surface, clay. So it's going to bounce up and jump up high around the head and neck and be very awkward. So Nadal's going to get the most value of his topspin on a clay court. And Alcaraz too, he has topspin too. So I just think it's about the long rallies, the consistency, the speed, where it's going to be very hard to get past you because you're fast. But then it's also, which Alcaraz, Djokovic, and Nadal have, but then the power to be able to say, in those long rallies, I can hit the ball through this slow clay court, generate enough power to get it through the court and finish the point. Alcaraz and Nadal have that. But Nadal's a bit above Alcaraz with the top spin, and also the fact that even when you have power, it's still hard to finish the rally off. So you need to have power and patience, and say it might take 5, 7, 10 shots. Nadal has the power, patience, consistency on the forehand, and he's not rushed because it's a slow court, time to set up. Whereas Alcaraz can be a bit impatient. He can, with this big, powerful forehand, want to end it in 1 or 2 shots, and he may have to take risks and go for too much power near the line and overshoot and make errors. Whereas Nadal's going to have power, consistency, patience, and hit the ball with a lot of power, yet safe inside the court. And with the patience to wait until he can get the ball past his defender, even if it's 5, 7, 10 shots, but all with power on it. So he's got the ideal game. Alcaraz has top spin to make it jump high up and awkward. Nadal has even more. So for these reasons, I'm going to put Nadal as the best player on clay, as the favourite to win the French Open and win big tournaments here. Alcaraz second, and Djokovic third. Tsitsipas probably fourth. He has time to set up on his forehand, and then when he's not rushed, he can hit those big forehands and boss people around. But he'd be fourth behind Djokovic. But just guys, just think about this, guys. That's what it's really about, the clay court game. Long rallies, not getting much out of his serve. He can't attack. He can't serve and volley. You can't do a whole lot of things. So then you're going to be forced to be in long rallies, and Nadal, Djokovic, Alcaraz have that. But then you need the big, powerful shot to finish the rally, and Alcaraz and Nadal have it, but Nadal has it with more consistency. And with the high bounce, you want top spin to make the ball jump really high and awkward. Nadal's got the best top spin in the game. Alcaraz probably second. So I'm saying that Nadal's going to be the favourite to do well on clay, followed by Alcaraz and followed by Djokovic. Also, when Nadal stands so far back at the back fence, the ball hits a slow clay court. By the time your serve travels all the way back there, Nadal's able to get the ball back with a full swing of the racket deep and force you into a 50-50 rally, right? And every time you're getting nothing out of your first serve, you're in a long grinding rally against Nadal on clay on your own serve every time. And then he's fast, he can run down everything. It's hard to get past the slow clay court when he's so fast. He doesn't make any errors. And once he gets on top of it, the point, he's going to hit 1, 2, 3, 4 hands with power and consistency and the power to get through and finish the court. To get through the court and finish the point. And his top spin is just jumping off the court, high up, maximizing the high bounce. So Nadal's going to be your favourite, followed by Alcaraz and Djokovic, and probably Tsitsipas fourth. But that's the way I see the clay court season going. That's how the ball bounces, slow and high bouncing. I've told you why, and I've told you who's going to do well. So that's my clay court season preview for today. Subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. Also keep in mind Nadal won't be playing the start of the clay season, but he did last year and still won it. But Alcaraz is probably his biggest threat because he does have the power to get through Nadal's great defense on this court and boss him around with extreme power on the forehand. So he could be the biggest threat. And then Djokovic is always the clear second guy behind Nadal and a threat too. But Nadal's your number one, followed by Alcaraz, then Djokovic, and then Tsitsipas. That's my video for today. Subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. Have a great day, night, wherever you are in the world. And thanks for watching, and bye for now.